enjoy it today. I know you've been saying, because we're going to have some big changes.
It's going to look a little different tomorrow morning, won't it?
I think even by this afternoon, I think things are going to be getting really soggy here. Now, most of us going to see just rain. It's our northern spots that I'm concerned with this ice storm. Now, we mentioned like a 1/4 inch of ice. To kind of put it in perspective, that's enough ice that we're not talking about, oh, it's a little slippery outside. This is like impossible to drive stuff, trees, power lines down.
Oh, right, the heavy stuff that coats.
Yeah, this is like the amount of ice that, you know, when we see like on the news, like down south, they get a big ice storm or something. So we're going to have to watch this very, very closely. So impact planner, for most of us, again, it's just rain, including right here in Milwaukee, but up to 2 inches of rain, heavy rain and thunderstorms. Now the flooding, again, you're going to want to clear out your storm drains of any snow on the sides of the roads if possible, and check again your sub pump, because we could see some basement flooding as well, along with some ice jams on the rivers. Ice is going to be a big concern across our northern spots up towards Fond du Lac. We could have some downed trees and power lines, some power outages in that area again later on today and tonight. And the roads again in that direction are going to be very slick, ice covered across the north, and maybe some ponding of water elsewhere in southeastern Wisconsin. The radar screen is very quiet this morning across southeastern Wisconsin. Rain is developing to our south. You can see some thunderstorms across Illinois. This is going to slowly progress in our direction. Future forecast times it out around 11 o'clock, the arrival of the rain. You can see by midnight, the noon hour, rain spreading across southeastern Wisconsin. By 4:30, rain continues heavy at times. Look at the pink up towards Fond du Lac and Sheboygan, indicating that ice continues across our northern spots through the night. This is 11:30. And we'll have rain here in southeastern Wisconsin, maybe some thunderstorms. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, more of the same. Rain for most, ice across the far north. Rain continues tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and it should be out of here by tomorrow evening. It's going to add up to a lot of rain. You can see our future forecast computer model indicating the potential for up to 2 inches of rain for much of southeastern Wisconsin, and then the ice across the north. You can see the latest computer model run indicating the potential for up to around a 1/4 inch of ice for Fond du Lac, maybe western Sheboygan County and northern Dodge County north of Beaver Dam. Winter weather advisories for Dodge County and Sheboygan County. A ice storm warning in effect for Fond du Lac County. Flood watch in effect for most of southeastern Wisconsin. Again, we're looking at some heavy rains. Live look in Port Washington, currently 32 degrees. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 4 miles per hour. So right at the freezing mark in Port Washington, that's the cold spot. In Milwaukee, we're at 40 already, and you'll notice most of southeastern Wisconsin above the freezing mark this morning, but no precipitation, so not worried about any icing. 35 in Watertown. Weather headlines, strong storm on the way, lots of rain for most of the area, and a major ice possible across our northern spots. Your forecast for today, a high temperature 41, mild with rain developing. For tonight, low temperature down to 40, holding steady. Periods of rain, heavy rain and thunderstorms. Here's your 7-day forecast for Tuesday. 47 degrees for your high. Rain and storms here in Milwaukee. Ice across the far north. 34 on Wednesday, 37 degrees on Thursday. Another chance of some rain and snow on Friday, kind of messy there with a high of 40. Saturday 41, and Sunday maybe some more rain and ice. Okay, and today's TMJ4 Storm Chasers, our Storm Team 4 meteorologist Josh Worster. Josh, you've stopped, and I think you're up in Fond du Lac area, and if you are, that's going to be an area that gets hit pretty hard.
We are, Brian. Yeah, we're on the southern edge of Fond du Lac in Fond du Lac County, and that's the one county in our area that's under that ice storm warning, like you mentioned, as that system rolls in later on today. Now, Highway 151 behind me, moving pretty good this morning. As you can see, cars out there moving along at a pretty good clip, but I think in 24 hours from now, if not even 12 hours from now for that evening drive, things will be much different as that ice develops, and for some of us in Milwaukee and South, looking at that heavy rain like you mentioned. So a few tips. If you have to drive, prepare that emergency kit, maybe a bottle of water, some food, just in case. You never know what will happen. Watch out for black ice. And then a lot of the newer cars now, ABS brakes. So if you're in the habit of pumping those brakes, keep that in mind. You don't need to do that anymore. And then for the flooding tips, for those of us further down to the south, obviously stay on the higher ground, and the whole saying of turn around, don't drown, don't drive through the flooded waters. I think that'll be a big issue with the frozen ground like you mentioned, and also maybe even some ice jams on the rivers if that ice starts to break apart with some of that rain continuing to pound on it over the next couple of days. We'll continue our trek around northern Wisconsin where we're expecting some of that ice to develop, and check in with you guys throughout the 6 o'clock hour as well.